What's happening, everybody? How are you tonight? Welcome in. Tonight we got a special guest. We only got so much time with him tonight, unfortunately. Maybe we'll get him again later on. He's got an important place to be. We have a Mr. Thomas Mullins over here on the panel tonight. Great guy. I've been watching him a lot here lately. We've got a lot of things to talk about Rocky Ford. I don't want to sit there and put this out because this guy's an individual and he's acting in his individual capacity right now with his individual opinions. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. My opinions certainly don't represent those of the city of Rocky Ford or anybody else.
All right. So, I mean, we just got a few things to talk about the last couple of meetings. I'm going to start it out with you, Thomas. Is there one thing, the top thing that you would like to talk about what you think shouldn't be done or you guys shouldn't have cut? Is there anything that you think off the top of your head that tops the list on what you shouldn't have done with this budget?
Well, we shouldn't have passed it. I mean, what we should have done is pass the budget that the finance director proposed originally. And that budget made cuts to fire, it made cuts to police, it made cuts across every single department in the city. And the reason that needed to be passed is because we have a spending problem. We're spending more money than we're bringing home in revenues over the last 2 years. It bounces around based on the month, but about 1.6, 1.8 million dollars in debt. If we continue down that path, the city is bankrupt in between 16 months and 36 months.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, man. I mean, I had a video queued up. I guess we'll play it later because it's kind of a long clip. It's of the ex-mayor, and she came up and she said, I sat on here for 14 years. I was mayor for 4 years, and when I left, we were in the black. What happened?
Half a mile. Turn right onto Colorado.
Yeah, well, I mean, so look, a couple of things happened. One, revenues didn't really go up very much. We got the internet tax came through, and that helped us a little bit. We haven't raised rates at all. Everything's gotten more expensive since that time. So those are the things that aren't really our fault. Those are the things we don't really have a whole lot of control over. What we did have control over is public safety.
Uh-oh. We may have hit a dead spot with him.
Uh-oh. Can't hear me anymore?
No, I can hear you again. You're good. You just roboted out for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, so going down these country roads. So one other thing we couldn't control is we couldn't get rid of, we had to expand the police department. The Attorney General said, we have to expand this police department. We have to bring it up to standards. And Chief Wallace has done a fantastic job at doing that, but it costs money. So that's something we didn't have any control over. It's extra expense that needed to happen. The big one, though, and this is where there's so much controversy, is the fire department. 3 years ago, the fire department was about a $400,000 operation, $400,000 operation. It was operated mostly by volunteers. We had about 40 of them. Last I've heard, we're down to about 4 volunteers, and it's not operated by volunteers anymore. And we also have EMS now, which was not a thing in the past. And EMS, those are about $130,000 per employee, and we've got 4 of them. So right there's a $500,000 of it, and the fire department is no longer a $350,000, $400,000 thing. And if you just go by inflation, it should have went up. It would probably be in the $500,000 range because it's been a wild couple of years, but it's not at that. If you count everything that was wrapped into fire back then, now the budget for them, the expenditures line item is something like $1.8 million. So it's pretty clear where most of that money that we're in the deficit came from.
Gotcha. I mean, that does sound like that's a lot of expense and stuff coming on out of nowhere, especially with the growth of everything.
Yeah, so it's just in context. It's larger than budgetary wise than La Junta, Swink, and Fowler combined.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
And yeah, and if you add them all up, I mean, we're a small fraction of that population.
Right? I was just thinking that. I've been through there plenty of times, and I'm trying to remember like the whole, but it's not that big. Like I'm trying
About
it's really
3,800
not.
people. I mean,
Yeah.
we're like a third of the size of La Junta, if that. I mean, we might even
Right.
be like a quarter of the size of La Junta.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
One of the big things with that though is the fire district, the Rocky Ford Fire District includes, I believe it includes like at least portions of the outskirts of Fowler, Manzanola, and a lot of places south, and then also a few places north until at least till you get up there to the Crowley County line. So as far as our protection district goes, it's pretty big as far as square miles, but still we don't have a lot of people there.
Yeah, and that's why instead of relying on career professionals, and I don't like he's saying he's understaffed, and he is understaffed. There's no denying it. We cannot staff a fire department that's going to serve all those areas adequately. It needs to be a volunteer fire department. We need to have 40 volunteers over there. We just do. And so I understand it's been a rough few years for everybody, but people have been volunteering at fire departments for hundreds of years. Older than the United States of America, people were volunteering at fire departments in America. And I just don't believe that 90% of everyone who volunteers at fire departments across the country have just packed up and left. I think there's a cultural problem.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, that's a good question and statement as well. Like, is it a cultural problem or is it a generational problem? Like as far as like as we say, like technology is spoiling people. I mean, how many numbers do you remember off the top of your head? Back when I was a kid, I used to be able to remember 12 numbers. I can't remember one now. It's like technology has made people stupid, and I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are going to be impacts with the younger generations, but I think like I was sort of a tech kid when I was younger, and I do physical stuff now, and I think that's just part of getting older. And once you get a certain age, you start caring a little bit less about your body and what happens to you, and you're a threat to life, and you want to have that community engagement that I didn't care about when I was 20. So you start looking for places to do that. And I think if you look at the people who volunteer, they're typically in their mid to late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And I think we're going to continue to see see those people. Now, I've seen this. I can't speak to the culture of the fire department because I don't know. But I've seen problems where this sort of thing has occurred. And it usually comes from one group of people getting paid more than another, and then one group of people wanting to protect that. So, and hypothetically, you could have a fire department where somebody's making $130,000 a year because they're getting $50,000 in side bonuses from the wildland side pay from a wildland fire program or something like that. And they want to protect that. They want to keep that money coming in. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, you can buy a house cash in Rocky Ford for a year and a half salary at that. So yeah, they want to protect that. And a threat to that is volunteers. I mean, if you got people coming in there, volunteering and offering to do your job for nothing, you're going to do everything you can to combat that in some cases. Now, is there a difference in quality? Yeah, of course, right? If you're paying somebody career professional firefighter, they're going to have more certifications, more on the job training, more. But that's why numbers make up the difference.
Well, and you're gonna have shifts, right? So
exactly,
you're gonna have shifts. basically you're going to have people at that station at all points in times. I kind of grew up my teenage years out in New Jersey, and New Jersey is all volunteer firefighters. And when I mean literally volunteer firefighters, these people are going to work, they're going to school, they're teenagers, they're adults, they're older adults. You know what I'm saying? They're all volunteer. They're out there doing their thing. When a fire gets called, they all have to rush to the fire station. There's nobody there ready to go and jump in that truck and go.
Yep.
They're all working. So it doubles the time on fire response. So, I mean, it's in a way, it's well worth it to pay, right? You pay your fire department so that way you have people there to jump in the truck as soon as possible. Looks like he froze up. We'll give him a second. John, did you have a question for him? Anybody else have a question for him while he's frozen up?
Actually, I had a couple of questions. One is regarding the issue with the council members that Dwayne is trying to get rid of, and how he would have the authority to change the terms for the council members. I think that's one that comes to mind, and there was another one. I'll probably think of it after he answers that.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I caught it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can hear you guys fine. I guess it's something to do with my phone or this reception out here. But yeah, as far as the council member thing, the technical issue at hand is the elections are supposed to be held on odd years, and they held our elections on the even years, and we're supposed to have 4-year terms also, and these things conflict with each other. Basically, the attorney has recommended that we vacate the seats and then reappoint us immediately. I don't think that's legally correct from my conversations with people. And my research, limited as it may be, is that anytime you're removing a sitting official, the council can't just vote on that. It has to go before an election judge in district court. And that's what I believe the proper procedure would be. I'm not going to fight a whole bunch for it. I just don't have the time for it. And there's a chance that once they vacate those, that me and Nick aren't going to get reappointed. They've certainly had that thought go through their head. I don't put a lot of faith in Dwayne's integrity, so I believe that he might pull that shenanigan. I can't predict the future, but I think it's possible.
Okay.
So my other question,
go ahead.
My other question, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but how much do you think the issue with the fire chief and the CBI investigation has to do with the friction between Dwayne and the fire chief? And is this a way for Dwayne essentially to stack the dais so that he's got a bunch of yes men?
Yeah, exactly. I think you're spot on there. But just to be clear, there is no friction between the fire chief and Ray. You couldn't get better buddies with each other. He'll occasionally put on a show where there's some sort of friction, but if Ray wants it, Ray gets it. That's why he blew up the budget. It was over Ray. It didn't have anything to do with anything but that. There's no friction between the two of them. And as far as the CBI goes, Dwayne is knee deep in that investigation too. He's named on that police report and on the CBI report, because the first thing that Ray did with those phone recordings was he sent them to Dwayne. And Dwayne went into a meeting with the city council and told them there are no recordings. That never happened. He lied to us all. But like, we know we do because we have the server logs. I mean, they've been published on Facebook. Everyone's seen them. And if you look on those, at the emails that he sent, you'll see Dwayne's name on there. So Dwayne knew damn well what was going on. Now, in Dwayne's defense, and I hate doing that, Ray did say, I sent a request for this. I did this legally. So maybe he didn't know, but he's named on that investigation too.
Well, I will tell you this. I know that I put in a request with CBI, and the information that was given back to me was for $497. I'll get every bit of the interview, every bit of the reports, and then they had, I believe they claimed 10 hours of video interviews. So that's going to be real interesting when we get a hold of that, and that's going to be real telling too, I think.
And did you actually pay for it already or what? Because I got that same thing back from them, and I'm like, I'm not throwing $500 at this. I'd rather throw it at the museum.
Yeah, that's exactly what they sent me, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. You make it back in the end, right?
Yeah.
Hold up.
It's unfortunate that this is the
$500
length
for
we
that
gotta go to.
request? I think I missed that, John. $500 for that request?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what they told me too.
Wow.
It was $496
Hey, I mean, I'll
change. So.
Yeah, I'll throw you a donation because I want to see it too.
I think a lot of people want to see it. I think some people were talking about actually pulling the money and getting it.
I'll chip in.
Lori says she'll chip in.
I mean, you could probably do a pay-per-view thing.
Right? We could do it live and everybody could watch it unfold. Woo.
Right?
10 hours of video? God, I'd give my life for that.
Right?
Hey, I'll circle back.
Gary,
we were talking about
questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Circle back.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the career firefighters, and you mentioned there's that delay with volunteers, and you're spot on. We need firefighters. That are career firefighters. And it said, wouldn't it be great if we had a helicopter up there to life flight people? But a helicopter's like $60 million. You know what I mean? So we have to face the fact that we're a poor rural county, and we're a poor city in that rural county, and we just can't afford everything we want, and we can't afford to have a department there that between EMS and fire and the chief and all that is like 13, 14 employees. We just don't have that sort of budget, especially they're all making like near six figures or more. So we just can't afford it. We have to right size, and we have to right size the whole city.
Right.
Let me ask you, what cuts did they make in the police department, if any?
Yeah, they did. They cut training, and they cut. I mean, it's sort of disgusting the cuts that Chief Wallace did, because he bent over backwards to do what's right for the city, and the fire department did nothing, really nothing substantial, and the cuts that the fire department did make, they're just going to blow right through that budget like it didn't exist. They're going to throw it on a credit card. Ray will throw it on his personal credit card probably, and then he'll just come in and drop $20,000 in bills on Stacy's desk and we pay this. Every cut that came from the fire department, the budget's going to blow right past that. But yeah, they cut ammunition, which they use for training. They cut training for new courses and stuff like that. The stuff that keeps our officers safe. They also cut an admin position. And when I talked to Chief Wallace about it, he said, well, right now I'm at 125% workload. He said, if I lose this position, I'll be at 175% workload. And we got Nicole Roberts up there saying, well, I'll volunteer, I'll do this and that. It's like, you can't do anything they do. There's not a damn thing that police department do that you have any qualification for or can probably even legally do.
Well, I think we all agree that Nicole says a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm willing.
Is that Johnny?
To do her spade.
Is that Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Gary, did you have any questions? I know that you had a couple of questions about that meeting, a couple of things specific. I forget what they were.
So, and I probably, that was like 5 minutes ago. I probably forgot that already, but
Oh gosh.
just sitting here thinking about it as we're listening to Thomas here, and back in what was it, 2022 or whatever, we had like 40 volunteers and just a couple of full-time people, and then with this wildland fire thing, there is no way that volunteers could do that if you can take off your work for 2 weeks or whatever it is that they're gone. But
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is now that I think about it, I don't think the department wants volunteers, because even when the current guys go out on wildland fire, that's going to require somebody to come in and spell those guys. I mean, somebody's got to take their place while they're gone, and still a volunteer, they're not going to be able to do 2 weeks straight, with especially with their jobs and stuff, and families. I mean, and that just popped into my head. I don't know where that was, or there'll probably be some arguments.
Yeah. No, so you're right. We do backfill those positions when they leave, and we call them volunteers. I might be old school. I talked to Kyle about this, our finance director, and the volunteers get paid. To me, I'm old school. Volunteer means you don't get paid. I'm not saying they don't deserve to get paid. They're just not volunteers. That's all I'm saying.
Right, they become paid employees is what they become.
Yeah, and it adds up. So the backfills are like $30,000 a person over the course of a year, and Wildland's supposed to pay for the backfill, and it's supposed to pay for the salary of the people, and it pays us a little bit of money if they use an ambulance. And if you look at all that, it's like, oh yeah, we're supposed to make money. But Ray came in there a month ago, or not even a month ago, like 2 weeks ago, and said, well, we were supposed to be giving 10% back to you guys, but we actually haven't been doing that, but we're going to do it now. And we went and looked back, and some of those billings, we were getting 0.74% back. And I mean, if you extrapolate that to their levels of what they've made on Wildland, you're talking about over $100,000 that they accidentally gave to themselves, and they ain't talking about giving that money back.
Right.
It's like, we'll do better next year.
Yeah, that's fraud.
Whatever.
Well, in my opinion, there's quite a bit of that going on.
Correct.
Well, I mean, it's going on everywhere. Everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Are you caught up with what's going on with Aguilar? I mean, do you think this
Yeah,
is like
I mean,
almost Aguilar level?
Yeah, I think it's I don't think it's Aguilar level. I think it's that, but we're dealing with numbers that are so much bigger than Aguilar that it's more serious than Aguilar.
We brought
Wow.
on Vernon. We brought on Vernon tonight, and he's an active sitting council member in Aguilar.
But he's
great.
acting on his own individual capacity.
That's right.
And expressing his own individual opinions. Isn't that correct, Vern?
Well, yeah, and I face a lot of lawsuits over acting on my own, but there's got to be, someone somewhere that could help this place, and I just haven't found it yet. I'm willing to risk the lawsuits, things like taxation. We taxed the hell out of people 2 nights ago, yesterday,
Yeah,
and it with no notice. We just went in and raised taxes on everything. We didn't give the small business a chance to come in. They labeled it a special meeting so that they could block any conversations, which was really just a rescheduled regular meeting. And it's time after time that, they're asking for more money, but giving the people absolutely nothing. And Thomas, if you wouldn't mind talking to me one day, I'm sure you people would give you my phone number. I'd sure like to talk to you about some of this council stuff. We're untrained as councilmen. We have a weak mayor who is not enough education to do this. And we're giving a town clerk $30 an hour. And now she's asking for us to pay her full health insurance policy. when we're not even required to supply insurance to her, and the council never voted
Continue on County
to.
Road 9 for 2 miles.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's almost 2 miles to County Road.
Right.
Anyway, it's just such
Sorry.
a mess.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're good, Thomas. I was just joking with you. But Thomas, if you wouldn't mind talking to me one day, I'd sure appreciate that.
No, I'd love it. And you know, the thing is, I think you almost hit the nail on the head there. The real danger with all these small towns and the trouble we're facing is relative to a single person. We're talking about pretty large budget, and we've got a lack of talent in a lot of these places where we've got too many positions to fill with not enough people with the know how to do it. And I'll even be modest and say, I don't know how to do everything. You know, I got to rely on the professionals. And that's what I said at the meeting. We've hired auditors. We hire a professional accountant. We hire a city manager. And you're just going to throw all that away in the trash and then come up here with a legal budget and act like you're a hero. It was idiotic. And then you've got, you know, these people that see that huge budget and it's like, how can I fix that? And there's a bit of that goes on in these songs. It's corruption, in short.
Well, and then I encounter things like last night, Good Citizen and you people caught a hot mic just before the meeting where they were broadcasting that I was a criminal from Texas. I've robbed people down there. I'm afraid to go back. And none of it's true. Actually, I'm from Kansas, you know, and this was from a councilman broadcast out on Zoom. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's slander. But it's not the first time they've caught them doing this.
Well, I mean, okay, so that's kind of you know, yeah, we caught the hot mic, but you know, it sounds like Rocky Ford needs a Tyra or a Stephanie.
Correct.
Oh yeah, to go
I mean,
under.
I mean, these people are running this town. Like Tyra and Stephanie were running this town. They know everything about this town. They've got 5 positions that need to be filled, and they've taken on every hat. They don't even want applications. They said, I got this. You need a Tyra and a Stephanie there, Tom.
Stephanie made almost 9,000.
Yeah, I'll say in defense of our city employees, they've really stepped up, a lot of them during this. People in City Hall, people soon to be in the library are going to have to step up. The police department stepped up. Public Works, more than anyone, has stepped up. And they're filling multiple shoes. I mean, they're wearing multiple hats, especially Public Works. Like I said, there is nobody in Public Works that works in water. There is nobody that works in sewer. There is nobody that works in trash. They work in all of them.
Right.
There's supposed to be somebody who works and does that job.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You guys have a bigger infrastructure, and it's kind of crazy how you compared, you know, Aguilar's financial status to your own or Rocky Ford's financial status. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you just think about it, bro. Like you've got Rocky Ford, which was what, like roughly 38,000 compared to under 500, just 500.
3,800.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I said. I'm sorry, 3,800 compared to 500. My bad.
Right. That's a lot
Yeah.
of people.
So it's a big
the
difference
problem
in
is the
infrastructure.
problem is 8 times bigger. Yeah, the
Right.
problem is 8 times bigger. There's a little bit more accountability than I think is going on in Aguilar, or at least was. I'm not
not
100% up to speed.
No, not
but
anymore.
No.
yeah, you got
Never.
stuff wrapped up now.
There's no accountability here. There's no transparency. They've even caught on this mic. I've been trying to get financials of the town as a councilman for over a year, and the mayor was saying she will not give me the financials because I will tell the public. You know, it's public information, and yes, I will tell the public. We're in
What do you
bad
mean,
shape.
See, well, they're supposed to publish those.
Right.
That's all
Yeah.
supposed to be published. How are they not giving it?
They even had talked to the town attorney, and the town attorney, according to the lies that they tell, is telling them that I have to Cora request the information and then required to pay for it as a councilman. We just passed a budget, and my fit was
Well, so Cora, it though. They can't. What they can't charge you anything. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like, what are they gonna do? Redact it? There's nothing to redact. It's all public. Like they can't.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
but
no.
they tried to charge you people $1,100 for some information that was public information.
Tom,
That-
you don't know how these people work, Tom. These guys,
That's
they've got it
wild.
down to a T. That's why I'm telling you, you need a Tyra and a Stephanie.
I pay for Cora requests as a councilman. I have
Hold
been
on.
paying for Cora.
Hold on. They can work your books down to zero, no problem, right down to the penny. Stephanie had it just like Tyra did. And on top of it, they know how to jack up your core request costs. So that's more income coming in for you guys. See, you need a Tyra and a Stephanie.
Well, don't worry about it. I mean, that's Dwayne's plan. Dwayne wants to stack that council so he can axe Stacy and make himself strong mayor. And if he can't do that, he'll make himself city manager.
I have a
We
question
just-
for Stacy.
We
I
just
actually
had-
had a question for Mr. Mullins.
Yeah.
When Dwayne decided to come up with this new budget proposal, I mean, I know Dwayne is a smart guy, but I don't think that he would come up with all this stuff on his own. Do you think he had help building that budget of his own? And the other question I had was, there was an incident right before he started talking about that budget that he created, where he was asking you, what have you done? And my
Yeah.
thought was, well, you're 100% right. You have people that are supposed to be doing this for you, and then they come to you and they explain what's what and where and how it goes. Now, I heard something
What
by
up, Joe?
the financial where they said this is a Band-Aid until just to get us through to 2026 to 27. Here's my question. What happens in 27 if this stuff doesn't start paying off and you guys are back doing the same thing next year?
Well, I mean, that's exactly the question that I raised with the council. It's going to be exactly the same thing. I mean, and whether or not Dwayne's sort of a political guy, so I don't know if he's going to be on board team raise taxes like crazy, because that's what's going to be needed to sustain this. I mean, we're talking about over $1,000 per household tax increase in order to sustain this. And we don't get that, then we're just going to keep running in the red over and over again until all the money's gone. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Not only are you right, like we're paying people to do this, but our attorney sent us a memo and said it was illegal for Dwayne to submit a budget. He is not allowed to do that. So when he's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" It's like, I followed the law. That's what I did.
That makes you a target because you become like Vern is to Aguilar. You know, when you speak
Well,
out, and
I mean, yeah.
you get yourself in
Yeah,
trouble.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, look, I can't be held liable for saying he's a criminal. He is. He's convicted.
Absolutely.
Like he's done really great job of hiding all the records, and he'll be the first to come out and say, "Oh, I've admitted it." And it's like, well, tell us all your rap sheet then. You know, just tell us all the charges you've had against you and all the people you've tried to kill. Like it's more than. By the way, it's more than one incident where he's tried to kill people.
Right. How did he get his record sealed on his domestic violence? I mean, come on.
No idea how he did that.
Because he's a people.
I mean,
he did it.
he's got
Mullins, we'll
some
talk later.
skills. All right. Hey, I'll be out of here anyways. So you guys have a good evening. Hope I was able to give you some info for you. You guys have a blessed night.
Thomas.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mom.
for coming in. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bro.
See ya. Well, for the little bit I got, that's pretty enlightening.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice of him to
there's the
come up.
insight into what's going on. I mean,
Right.
it's scary.
Is Stacy
And he-
the
and-
city
and-
manager?
and I think what scares me more than anything is the fact that Dwayne came up
Oh,
with
wait.
that budget.
Wait, hold on, guys. I gotta check with somebody. Hey, Nicole, is everything good?
I didn't see anything where he was saying that he was a council member and putting himself forth as a council person. He was representing himself as an individual. We have all established that we are all individuals, and unless we state, I am a Rocky Ford City Council person and this is my opinion, then it really doesn't matter. I didn't.
Okay. All right. We're good. Nicole says it's all good.
Thanks,
So what's up,
Nicole.
brother? Long time no see. Thanks for coming in. Gio, Gregory. Sorry, we didn't talk very much to you guys when you guys came in because we had our friend Tom come down and just wanted to chit chat with us about a few things. You know, his own individual opinion. Like we always do, like everybody up here. We all have our own individual opinion, right, guys?
That's right.
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 Correct.
I have no
I have the
opinion.
opinion my wife gave me.
Oh, well, John's got his wife's opinion. So, I mean, I guess it's still an opinion.
I'm going with John's wife's opinion also.
All right. Vern's going to go with John's wife's opinion too. John's wife is actually very intelligent. I would almost want to go with her opinion too. But my mouth is a little bit worse than hers. So I end up getting in more trouble.
Vote on it. We'll all go with her opinion.
For now. How about that? Gary, did you get any more? I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was just going to ask Gary, like, if they increase these different things, the taxes and what have you, how does that impact somebody that owns property like you or Mr. Martin? You know what I mean? Is that going to create a problem down the road for you guys?
Well, yeah, it's going to create a problem because a lot of my people are on fixed incomes, and it's gonna be a struggle for them. But at the same time, I'm not opposed to raising some of these prices. I guess my thing is I don't want to raise prices just to have an open-ended checkbook for these departments, and you know the one I'm talking about. That we need water. Obviously, we need sewer. We need trash, and if they start cutting those services because we just don't have any money, how are those people going to complain? There's going to be a lot of complaining, and nobody wants to raise rates. But at the same time, if we were to raise rates and show where we are spending the money wisely, then I think we would have a lot more backing behind us. The thing that frustrates me is it seems like everything, and believe it or not, I mean the safety departments in all these towns, they have it figured out. All they have to do is cry safety. It's all about safety, and people will start caving. And we watched it in. Well, if you've been paying attention to the speed camera in Kersey, I mean, this is just a bunch of BS all the way around.
Walsenburg is getting the same setup.
Yeah, Walsenburg's getting the same setup. La Junta was going to get the same setup as Walsenburg, and they did. The police chief elected not to use that guy, but I think he's still out looking for one of these systems. And now that same guy that's doing Walsenburg and La Junta, he's in Rocky Ford trying to talk Matt into doing this system.
Well, he also stopped into Aguilar from what I heard, but then he told them that, he couldn't do it because they didn't have a police force. But once they resurrect their police force and they get law enforcement in there, Aguilar can start benefiting from that revenue.
Stephanie's not our marshal.
No, Stephanie's not the marshal. She can't do that and everything else. It's just too much.
I'll bottle up a bunch of water and send out to Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess my thing when it comes to, and I'm not knocking the fire department. I mean, as you guys know, that jackass run through my house, and believe it or not, we probably had 20 of these people over here in and out of my house, helping me take care of this guy. So I definitely appreciate it, but at the same time, we can't as a town. I don't feel the city of Rocky. I don't think it's the sole responsibility of the city of Rocky Ford to handle all of these. In Rocky Ford, obviously, but to handle all these other little municipalities. We learned that 50% of Manzanola's calls are handled by Rocky Ford, and Manzanola has contracted with, I think it's AMR or one of these ambulance services here to do that. But when the emergency call comes in, they don't have anybody available. And for the most part, I think the reason they don't have anybody available is because it is so hard to get money out of Medicaid and everybody else. So they don't want to send people out. What they want are hospital-to-hospital transfers. So they're going to get their money a lot easier on those. And so I think they think, well, we're contracted to Manzanola, but at the same time, we'll just say we're busy and we can't make it. And then Rocky Ford will swoop in like the Batman guy on the council the other night. And Rocky Ford will swoop in and they'll take care of us. And my question that never did get answered from anybody at the fire department was, so if they're contracted to this other ambulance company, are they paying this other ambulance company? And why don't we send a bill to Manzanola or to Fowler or to Otero County for us guys that are in the county? I mean, why does the citizens of Rocky Ford have to foot the whole bill? I guess is my thing.
But you're completely correct. It should be that wherever those people have to go to those places that are not within the confines of Rocky Ford, they should have to pay for that service as a municipality or as a county. They don't get it for free. It costs to do that. Personnel, the vehicles, the gas, everything. It's not a free ticket. And the government supports it.
And as far as the ambulance service goes, when it comes to the fire department, like I said, we're in a very big district for the fire department, and the way these fire departments help each other, I can kind of see that. Running to Manzanola, running to Fowler. I mean, we've been to Los Animas, we've been to, anybody around that has the need for more help. All these guys get together and do that, which is not what you really see with ambulance services. I mean, obviously, if it's a life or death situation and all four of our ambulances, if two of our ambulances are off on wildfires or whatever, and we're in a life or death situation, yes, La Junta may come in and send one of their ambulances, or all these guys have ambulances. Fowler, I believe Manzanola does too. Now, where the rub is that they're not, and our department will say, well, we have more education on our ambulance than these guys do, so we deserve more money. And again, I get it. More education is more expensive. You probably got to pay that guy more money. But at the same time, when the fire department went before council here, I don't know, it's at least probably a year or so to raise the rates so that we were even with statewide rates. I mean, it wasn't like we're trying to get more money than those guys. We were just trying to raise our fees on the ambulance up to the point where everybody else is, even though we have supposedly we have more education and whatnot, and we technically should be charging more, but the council voted it down. They said no, they want, because Medicaid is like 20, most of our calls are Medicaid, and Medicaid pretty much sets the price. They're like HUD, and
and that was my understanding about ambulance. But again, I come from a lot of big towns. Like now I'm in Tucson. In Tucson, you have multiple different ambulance companies, right?
Yeah,
multiple.
right.
You'll have Tucson Fire Department ambulance, and that is paid for through the taxpayers, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And still, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get a bill.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And if you have insurance, they'll just bill the insurance flat out, right? So you
Yep.
never see that bill if you have insurance. But if you don't have insurance and you've never taken an ambulance before, get ready for a $5,000 bill just for a ride to the hospital if it's something minor.
Right.
Right. And if it's something major, they're using a lot of stuff on you. So they're charging you about the same price as a hospital just on wheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know exactly how it works over there. I mean, I know there's a lot of grants. I know there's a lot of funds that go to it. I know that, there's all this different stuff. So, I mean, I don't know how it exactly works over there.
And I don't either. But I do know when it comes to billing Medicaid, they're kind of like HUD telling us that as landlords, oh, well, you can only charge, for a 1-bedroom apartment, you can only charge $500. That's the max right there. So
Right.
they kind of set the prices. So what happens, especially with the ambulance service, as I understand it, they're going to pay 25 to 27% of that bill, regardless what that bill is. So if you have a flat rate of say $1,000, they're going to pay 25% of that, and regardless. But if at the same time, if we get an ambulance out of Trinidad, their rates are higher than ours. They're going to pay $1,500, or they're going to charge $1,500. Well, Medicaid is going to pay 25% of $1,500. So as far as Medicaid goes, they're going to pay 25% of whatever you build, and then when it comes to like the insurance company, we only have I forget what Nikki said. It was like 2 to 5% or less of people actually are self-payers, and so they're the ones that are going to struggle, because the insurance company, they're going to pay whatever they pay, and you're going to have your deductible or whatever.
Right.
And, but it's the self-payers that they kept coming back to. Well,
Right.
the self-payers are like 2% or 2 to 5%, and I'll guarantee you what, the ambulance service is going to be like anybody else. If I go in there and I have a $2,000 bill, and I tell those girls in there, look, I don't have any money, I have $1,000. Guess what? They're going to do like the hospitals do. They're going to do like they're going to do like everybody else does, and they're going to say, okay, we'll take the $1,000. You're clean. And
They'll write that
Well-
other stuff off.
Well,
it's
that's
not-
if they work a deal with you. If they don't work
Yeah.
a deal with you, it's we'll take the $1,000 now and we'll take the rest in payments. I mean, they're pretty adamant about getting their money unless you can talk them down.
yeah.
And this just reminded me something else that happened in Rocky Ford. They say that Savage says that they are charged for the dispatch services in Fowler in their taxes, as well as in Rocky Ford, I believe. But Rocky Ford is losing their dispatch service. Is that what I heard? Is that correct?
So no, what they're doing is it's still going to be the same dispatch services. But the thing is right now, and I didn't realize Fowler. I didn't realize we were under Fowler dispatch. I know we're under the sheriff's dispatch, or Terrell County, and as well as I think it's Elbert County or one of those, Ebert County or one of those other ones that we also have. We are also dispatching for, and we do. So like the La Junta, we're just fixing to take on La Junta's contract, and that's a $350,000 contract, and it's going to require us to put on like 4 more people, and but the difference in the price for La Junta coming on, and the more people, we're still going to make on the conservative side. We're still going to make $50,000 a year answering those calls and putting them out. And the reason La Junta's happy to give us $350,000 a year is because they can't staff that dispatch room with 2 people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're money wise, they probably could, but they can't find the people. So with bringing it into Rocky Ford, then they can, then they can. We already have a lot of people in dispatch, and they can just kind of, we can kind of what do you want to call it? Intercept them, or we can kind of absorb them or whatever, and,
Right.
And it'll make a better deal for everybody. And I would like to see the dispatches get bigger, especially with these smaller towns. So I think Lahana, they dispatch their fire department, police department. What else do they dispatch? Oh, so they also are going to be dispatching, and I'm sure Fowler's probably the same way. Not only the emergency services, they're also going to be dispatching like you have a water main break shooting water into your house. You're going to call those guys and the dispatch, and they're going to send a Fowler guy out, right?
Right.
Hey, take care of that. So it amounts to a lot of calls. So what's going to happen this year is we're absorbing Lahana, and then in 2027, the dispatch is going to stay the same. The people are going to stay the same. The equipment, we're still going to use the fire department, the new fire department building, exactly where they're at right now. The only difference is this is going to be a county entity instead of a Rocky Ford Dispatch, and so the city of Rocky Ford now. There's probably going to be some rent taken out for the city and whatever else, but the city of Rocky Ford is going to have to start paying into dispatch like everybody else. But it's going to be a county entity, and the people are going to get paid through the county instead of through Rocky Ford.
Man, so much going on, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of mess to be dumping at the same time we're trying to do budget stuff.
Right? Like, this is not a town big enough to be piling on all this stuff on top of each other, bro.
I know.
How are you guys handling all this?
So, like I say, in the past, like Thomas said, a lot of this stuff was done with volunteers, and I'm not exactly sure if the dispatch, because the dispatch is kind of a more serious deal. I don't know that it could be handled with volunteers. A lot of it couldn't be handled, but it's one of those things that it's just, the whole thing is ballooning out of control. You no longer have a manageable system. Now you have a tough to manage system because everything is ballooning up. And like I said, like Thomas said, the only thing that we were required by the state of Colorado, and that was we had to upgrade our police department. And I mean, that was everything from the jail, the way they kept records. We now have to have a records room. What do they call that? Secure records room. And so there's a lot of extra costs that we've incurred doing all this just to come up to the minimum standards of the state of Colorado. But like the fire department, none of this stuff is technically required to be made bigger. I mean, and again, now's not the time to be doing it, but here we are.
Right.
I think what was scary was there was a conversation that was had on the dais, and somebody had brought up the fact that they were, I guess, and I'm not sure that this was what they were, maybe it was just an example, but they were saying with the cuts that they were trying to make, that they would have one officer patrolling, you know what I mean, on his own. And to me, that's scary in and of itself.
Yeah. So that was the previous budget, let's just call it the 6 or 7 hour meeting.
Right.
So that's what the previous budget would have done. It would have cut some officers, and they would have only had one person on a shift, especially during the night. They would have had one person on a shift.
But that's nothing, Gary. Look, Fowler does that, right? Savage Fowler does that. They've only got one cop on, and that guy's fine. As long as he sides with all the bad people leave him alone.
Right.
And the sheriff who's supposed to help out, he doesn't respond to the call.
Oh, well, that's not his jurisdiction, John. He just comes out to just back him up to make sure nothing goes down. And as long as he backs up the bad people, everybody's fine.
Yeah, it's not a good situation, and you know, for myself personally, I would like to see. It would be nice to see maybe not two officers out patrolling the streets at the same time, but using Fowler for instance, if that one officer needs help at 2:00 in the morning, guess what? It's going to be 30 to 45 minutes before any backup is able to arrive.
Well, first of all, I would
crap beat out of them already.
Well, first of all, I would think the concern would be is that there's a single cop out there by himself. So my thing would be is, all right, they have to team up at night. They one patrol unit running around. Not you see, that's how you cut down expenses, Gary. You take them out of the other unit, you team them up together. That's officer safety, right? So you're covering all the bases.
Yeah, but and I agree. I agree 100%. But here's the thing: if Fowler only has one officer, and I don't know how many officers does Fowler have now? I heard they just have one. But if they have that
Fowler
one,
only has one.
Did you really think you're going to get an Otero County sheriff to come up and ride with that guy? I mean,
No.
that would be like getting out of the cab and getting into the Model T.
Actually,
Yeah,
I have
but we were
seen
talking about-
seen that happen.
We were talking about Rocky Ford. Fowler don't care about their law enforcement. Rocky Ford apparently cares
they got
about
their treasurer.
Yeah, Rocky Ford actually cares about their law enforcement. They didn't want their law enforcement running around by themselves at night. Well, that's great. Well, you can cut expenses by taking both of those officers that you would have on at night and you put them together in one vehicle and you have them patrolling around together. That's officer safety, and you're saving on resources as far as gas and wear and tear on another vehicle. See, I mean, it works.
Yeah, and I agree. What we do see in Rocky Ford a lot of, and believe me, when I go to work at 4:00 in the morning, there's lots of creepy crawlies out running around, and there are also, we have officers that are checking on doors. They're walking up and down the street, and to me that's kind of a scary issue. And yes, I think we do definitely need to have two officers. Now, whether they're right there across the street from each other, or maybe they're 2 blocks over in their car or whatever, the two officers I think is a good thing. And we had that guy got the crap beat out of him, and that still weighs pretty heavy, especially on Thomas's mind. That officer that got the crap beat out of him and ended up in the ICU for a week or 2 or whatever it was.
Right.
He's
a good officer.
Yeah, and that right there is what to me that right there is probably more important than having so they want I think that the Rocky Ford Fire Department they want I think it's 3 shifts, or no, is it 4 shifts? I think it may be 4. I don't remember what it is. It's 3 or 4 shifts, and they want 4 fire department people on each shift. And I kind of get it, because obviously if there's an ambulance call, those fire department guys, 2 of those guys are going to go on an ambulance call, and so that's still going to leave 2 in the station taking calls for fires or whatever. But at the same time, a lot of these guys are still available. Maybe not the volunteers, but they're still available within a reasonable amount of time. And these guys are dedicated. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying anything about them being dedicated, but you have 2 guys now that they got to go out and fight a fire, and they got to call more guys in. And it's more doable to me than having just 2 cops out on the street, or 1 cop, I guess, out on the street. I'd rather cut 1 guy maybe off each shift on the fire department, and leave 2 guys on the police department.
I got a better solution. We can get Dwayne to talk with Batman. Yeah, the deal.
Maybe we can get Batman to cover Rocky Ford for the police department.
So has anybody ever figured out who that guy was? His voice sounds familiar, but I haven't figured out who it was.
No, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to invest in a bat signal.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Well, and I asked Bruce Wayne, and he told me no, he doesn't know anything about. I mean, he knows about Batman, but he doesn't know anything. Like, he's not Batman.
If nothing else, I at least want to be able to get the stuff that guy's drinking. That's probably not available at your local liquor store.
Probably not. Probably not. But we have been going on for an hour now. We greatly appreciate everybody coming on. The main part of the show here was to get Mr. Tom's individual opinion on certain things. And we got Gary's individual opinion about certain things. And we got Lori's individual opinion about certain things. And yeah, we've got individual opinions about certain things all over this show tonight. It's been fun.
And just to give a little background on Tom, of everybody sitting up there on that council, he is probably the only one that has any financial education that can even kind of halfway start to understand exactly how this budget deal works. And listening to Kyle, you know, he did carry on some pretty good conversations with Kyle. We're like me and the rest of the people up there, you know, our eyes kind of glaze over and
he sounds a whole lot more articulate on this stuff than I am. Like he has a wealth of knowledge on this stuff, and we greatly appreciate him coming up tonight. Hopefully maybe we can get him up for like an actual like hour-long show and maybe pick his brain a little bit more about his thoughts about the directions he thinks, you know, the way not so much he thinks it should go, but how he thinks it should go. You know what I'm saying?
About problems, it'd be nice to sit down and have a good hour to try to talk about some possible solutions. You know?
Well, I mean, from what I hear from Dwayne, I mean, he doesn't offer any solutions. I mean, he had to get questioned. What kind of solutions do you bring? Yeah. Well, I talked to the guy for 15 minutes, and it sounded like he had a whole lot more solutions.
Oh yeah,
not doing anything at all.
Solutions from him. I'd like to see what's his direction and idea realistically.
Right.
Yeah, but, you know, the other thing too that I would like to pick his brain on is because he has the financial background, he could kind of explain how the budgets work. You know what I mean? Right. So that people that have never, when they go to a council meeting, if they see a budget, they can understand what they're looking at. You know. That would be something that would be, for me, I would love to find out how that works.
Yeah. All right. So Savage Broadcasting, I'm saying that there's probably more truth to that you know that the mayor does have some vigilante people out there doing his bidding for him, but
supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah, supposedly, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Did I get myself in trouble on that or what?
No, but we got you covered. Supposedly, allegedly.
There you go. So before we, I guess Lori wants to talk.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's all facts. No supposedly, allegedly. Okay, go ahead.
So the thing that kind of struck me the other night, and Dwayne got King Dwayne got his tit in a ringer because he proposed his own budget, right? So in his defense, at this last meeting, he and I had to laugh. I couldn't hardly control myself. He said, as a child in school, you know, he always, you know, instead of being a part of the problem, he always brought solutions to the table. And I'm thinking, yeah, what kind of fucking problem did you have that the solution was to shoot that guy? Right. I mean, really.
Right. Hey, the mob's got solutions too. I'm just saying.
Like, yeah.
You know, he ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just misinterpreted.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Maybe. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching. If you're watching this back, thank you for watching it back. We greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to tip your waitress on the way out. And we hope that you guys have a